What's up, risk managers? My name is Nasdaq Anonymous, and I'm addicted to the NQ. And boy, is she one hell of a drug. And welcome to tonight's NA meeting, where we'll discuss the economic data for the week, analyze today's session, and from that, build a winning game plan for tomorrow's price action. And if you haven't done so already, you can show your support by subscribing to the channel. And with that said, let's jump into the charts now. This is tomorrow's data, and be mindful that all times are in Central Time. And we have a big block of news scheduled for tomorrow, so let's jump into it. At 7:30, we have durable good orders, and we have non-defense capital good orders for the month of September. At 9 o'clock, we have the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index and the 5-year consumer inflation expectation for the month of October. At 10 o'clock, we have Fed Collins speaking. And finally, at 2:30, we have some CFTC data being released. And now that we know what to expect, let's jump into the charts and create a game plan for tomorrow's price action. This is the block of price action that we traded during today's stream. And today was definitely a range day. And as I analyze the charts, I see about 3 clues that's going to be essential for helping us find the best trades going into tomorrow's stream. So let's jump into it. During the overnight session, the Nasdaq opened slightly bullish and traded 160 points to the upside into a previous area of resistance. However, once the bulls failed to rotate price higher, the bears stepped in and price sold off 168 points to the downside and seeing a profit-taking bounce going into the close of the session. And based on this price action, here's what I'm going to be looking for. So today was just another exciting day for those addicted to the thrills of the NQ. And today was definitely an uphill battle for both the bulls and the bears, because after that devastating price action that we saw during yesterday's session, the bears did make an attempt to push price down from a key area or a key range that has shifted from being major support into resistance. However, after a failed rotation at this range, the bulls were able to regain control and price traded into the upside until the close of the session. So, if the bulls can maintain their control overnight, then I'll be watching the reaction when price trades within a range between 430 and 460. Because this is the range where the bears broke structure to the downside, and they've already stepped in and sold the retest earlier in yesterday's session. So I do expect for the bears to step up at this area to make a second attempt at selling the retest. But if the bears fail to hold this area and price continues to trade higher, then I'll be watching the reaction when price retests the level at 485. However, if the bears can regain control overnight and price begins to trade lower, then I'll be watching the reaction when price trades within a range between 380 and 360. Because this is the range that has acted as major support before the bears were finally able to trade through it. And this is also the range where we saw the bears knock price down before we saw that massive rally going towards the close of the session. And the bulls using this area as support. So if the bulls fail to hold this area and price continues to trade lower, then I'll be watching the reaction when price retests a level at 325. Now, we have one day this week before we go into peak week next week, where majority of the market cap will be reporting their earnings. So I do expect for the market to set itself up in anticipation of volatile price action. But the price action overnight will definitely be essential for our bias going into tomorrow's stream. Now, if you're enjoying the content and appreciate the value that me and my trading partner provides to the trading community, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the release of our next NA meeting and live streams. And with that said, let's jump into an ES chart. This is an ES chart, and this is the block of price action that we traded during today's stream. And during the overnight session, the E-mini S&P opened slightly bullish and traded 38 points to the upside into a previous area of resistance. However, once the bulls failed to rotate price higher, the bears stepped in and price sold off 48 points to the downside and seeing a 32-point bounce going into the close of the session. And based on this price action, this is what I'm going to be looking for. So just like the NQ, price continued to trade higher from the momentum that we saw from yesterday's session and traded into a previous area of resistance, where we saw the bears aggressively try to sell price down to potentially complete a second rotation lower. But As always, the bears failed and was once again used by the market as liquidity to fuel this market higher. So, if the bulls can maintain their control overnight, then I'll be watching the reaction when price trades within a range between 855 and 860. Because this is the range where the bears broke structure to the downside, and I do expect for passive sell orders to be resting in this area to sell the retest. But if the bears fail to hold this area and price continues to trade higher, then I'll be watching the reaction when price retests the level at 870, which was the high of day from yesterday's session. However, if the bears can regain control overnight and price begins to trade lower, then I'll be watching the reaction when price trades within a range between 843 and 837. Because this is the range where the bulls found support during yesterday's session, and I do expect for passive buy orders to be resting in this area to buy the retest. But if the bulls fail to hold this area and price continues to trade lower, then I'll be watching the reaction when price trades within a range between 834 and 829. Now, as we go into tomorrow's session, we have to keep in mind that next week is peak week, where majority of the market cap is reporting their earnings for this quarter. So I do expect for there to be a lot of volatility, especially because we have big names reporting like Amazon and Apple. So it's going to be very important for us to keep that in mind as we go into tomorrow's session. But I'll be monitoring both markets overnight to identify the best trades as we go into tomorrow's stream. And in summary, both markets started off the session bullish after seeing a massive sell-off during the previous session. Both markets saw aggressive selling pressure from the bears from a previous key range that shifted from major support into resistance. And finally, both markets saw a massive rally after the bears failed to rotate price lower. And that's all I have for tonight, risk managers. And you can watch us trade these concepts live by clicking this video. We'll see you there.